Welcome to my channel. I'm Nicolette Amarillas. I'm an exercise coach and a posture and movement specialist. Today I have a very important exercise for you, a compound movement, one of the most important big exercises that we can do, the back squat. Now the back squat is done with a barbell on the shoulders and the back, and you can normally utilize a barbell in the gym, but today I'm going to be using tonal. Now, in order to make use of the cues and the tips that I give you today, you do not need a tonal. This will very much so be helpful for anyone who's trying to just better their back squat or get to know it. But if you are using tonal, I'll also give really important cues and tips for setting yourself up on tonal. Without further ado, let's go. So here we are, we're set up on tonal, arms are all the way down, the bar is attached with your bar module attached to the bar. I prefer to face away from tonal, so I'm going to show you the demo facing away from tonal, but I will show you a couple of reps facing tonal at the end of this video, just so you can see which one is best for you. And if you're not on tonal, doesn't matter. We're going to grab the bar and put it on the shoulders. But before you do that, let's go over the movement in general, and then you can load the bar and you can go follow along with me as we do the movement. So with the back squat, we're going to take the bar a little wider than the shoulders, and then bring the bar just below the cervical spine. So you'll feel like a bony process in the back of your neck. You want to make sure the bar is below that. That's basically where your cervical spine ends and your thoracic begins. It's going to be safer and more comfortable on the thoracic. For me, I'm holding as wide as the tonal bar. Now, setup is going to look a little bit different for everyone depending on your squat mechanics. So for me, my feet are a little wider than shoulder distance apart and my toes are turned out. I am barefoot because I prefer being barefoot when I work out, but I am wearing like non-slip socks. So if you want to wear shoes, you can. Just try and make sure that they're flat and they don't have a big heel. From here, we want to make sure that our ankles or our heels are lined up with the end of the tonal arms. That way, when we drop down into our squat, our goal here is to keep this cable as vertical as possible through the whole movement. So for some people, you might have to step back. For some, you might have to step forward. Everyone is going to be a little bit different. For me, it's about arch of my foot, look a little closer toward my heel, lined up with the end of the tonal arms. Now from here, we'll get into the squat mechanics. Bar is on the shoulders, chest is open, but make sure we're not flaring out the ribs, okay? There's a difference between an open chest and engaged back and distended lower abdominals and unengaged rib cage area. We don't want that. So even though your chest is open, still think about tucking in and engaging through the core the whole time. From here, think about your knees coming forward as your hips go back. So it's like your knees and hips are going to move in opposite directions. Knees forward and out wide, hips down and back. From here, squeeze the glutes, press the heels into the floor and stand tall. Now, I say knees forward and out because a back squat isn't just hips going back, right? That ends up being a little bit more of a hinge because the torso starts to fall forward. So a squat really is the function and the coordination of both the knees and the hips bending or flexing as much as they can, working as a team. So knees forward and out. Really think about starting with the knees. Don't be scared to start with the knees. And then as the knees come forward and out, pointing in the same direction as the second toe, imagine your hips going back. This is going to stretch the back of the thighs. So the knees forward, hips back, lengthening the back of the thighs as you lower. Opening up the knees as wide as you can, chest stays open, squeeze the glutes. Come back up. Now I'm going to load a little bit of weight onto mine. This is your opportunity to load your bar and kind of just follow along with me as I give you some of those same cues and we work through some of the repetitions together. So I'm in my squat stance. I got about 20 pounds on the bar. Chest is open, but my rib cage is drawn in. From here, knees forward and out, pointing in the same direction as the second toes. Hips come back. Now for me, I can get pretty low. I'm going as low as I can until my body flexes forward. Squeeze my glutes, press through the heels and stand. Two more like that, and then I have one more cue to give you that I think is really important for the way up. but I want you to just get in tune with the cues that I just gave you. Knees forward, knees out, hips back, chest proud. Going down just as far as you can before the hips tuck in and the back flexes. Now that last little cue I want to talk to you about. On the way up, as you're at the bottom here, what might happen is your knees are going to want to extend before the hips. We don't want that. We want the knees and the hips to extend together simultaneously. What this looks like, at the bottom, knees extend, hips extend together, right? Not knees, then hips. This is a sign that maybe the weight is a little too heavy. So if you can't come up from the bottom of your squat without this happening, like a swooping of the hips back, that tells me the weight is a little bit heavy. When you're first starting a new movement on tonal, go light. Don't rush. You have plenty of time. You have your entire lifetime to go up in weight on this move. So definitely don't rush. Now, if you're not on tonal, same rules apply. Get comfortable with movement. Work on your range of motion before you just start to add load. Build a strong foundation and a base. Okay, so like I promised, now I'm gonna give you a couple repetitions facing tonal, and I'll kind of tell you why, for me, this is not the preferred position. Same loading, same positioning, nothing changes here. Now for me, when I'm in my squat position, and as I lower, I just feel a little bit more restricted by the tonal arms. I feel just a little bit more claustrophobic, I guess you could say, but you can now see the squat from behind and what it looks like, and there are plenty of people that prefer this position. You are welcome to do whatever position feels more comfortable for you. You might like it though because you can see yourself, and so there might be a little bit of feedback as far as form goes. All right, that's the back squat, one of the most important exercises you can do for the strength of the legs, the hips, the core, and even the upper body. If you have any additional questions or there's any element of that move that didn't make sense or you want me to elaborate on even more, I'm happy to be here to help. Please feel free to comment below, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for coming.